Hello, welcome to our office at Rancho Manana. I'm MariaElena Rizzo with the Fulton-Rizzo Team and Hunt Distinctive Properties. Today, we are going to go and visit with a few local nonprofits that are here in town in Cave Creek, Arizona. We are visiting Purse Impressions. They are a charity boutique focusing on purses and jewelry. Come on in. Hi, Patricia. It's great to see you again.
Hi, MariaElena. Thank you so much for coming today.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited to show you our whole boutique and our new space that we have and tell you our story about Purse Impressions.
I love your story, and I am so excited that you keep on expanding. It's just a joy to see.
Thank you. Well, come on into the yellow room and we can get started in here.
Okay.
Because this is where it all started. My daughter, Courtney, as you know. And for those of you who don't know, I lost my daughter to stage 4 cirrhosis of the liver due to alcohol addiction. However, she had this dream. I mean, it's a sad and tragic story, but the outcome of it has been so inspiring and positive, it's actually hard for me to even understand how something so tragic could have turned into something so positive. But this was an idea. Purse Impressions was her idea. When Courtney would get out of rehab, she would always ask me to pick her up a purse or a backpack or a tote or something, because all they did was give her a plastic bag when she left rehab, and she felt it didn't make a good first impression of her new life. That's why we called it Purse Impressions, so to make a good purse impression when you're leaving rehab. Well, she was about 1 week away from being put on a liver transplant list, and unfortunately, she didn't make it. She's my only child, and it was heartbreaking. It still is heartbreaking to me. However, at her memorial, what I decided to do was to keep this idea of hers going. And because we had been collecting purses already, I asked at her memorial in lieu of flowers for purses. And I got 400 of them. This is a picture over here that shows at her memorial the 400 purses. Then what we did is we took them all, they're all piled up, and did a GoFundMe and gathered all of the items like hygiene, makeup, sanitary products to put into the purses, and donated 400 purses to her first rehab. Well, that's what started the ball rolling. And what we have done now, just to fast forward a little bit to give you an idea of where we're at today, in just over 3 years, we work with 11 different rehabs in Maricopa County, and we've given out 4,000 purses and backpacks for the men in just over 3 years. So what had happened was I had gotten so many purses in my house, because I started out in my house, and that I said to my husband, I had this idea. I have this great idea. What if I opened a little boutique in Cave Creek, where I live, and sell purses in the front and run the charity in the back? And what does he think? Do you think this is a good idea, hon, in the middle of a pandemic? Well, of course, he responded like all husbands do. How much is it going to cost me? But he hasn't had to put in any money at all, because the idea has worked wonderfully. So what we did is started with this room in here. So into the blue room, this was the first place, the first part of our charity boutique. Now, what the boutique runs completely off donations. So everything that you see, all the purses, jewelry, scarves, hats, and belts are all donated locally by women. Then what we do is we take some of the purses and we sell them to raise money to buy items to put into the purses. So in this room is where we've been running the charity for the past 3 years. And all of these purses are divided for some for the boutique and some for the rehab houses. And then we have our collection of hygiene items that we keep over here. We run off donations, so whether that's purses, as I said, purses, jewelry, scarves, hats, we also can use monetary donations because a lot of times there are a number of things we have to buy that we can't raise money for. For example, the backpacks for men. And this is our new space over here. We're waiting on our display furniture. It's a nice, big, bright, open space. And just think, it's just been 3 years and we're growing this quickly, which is amazing.
So I understand you do bag stuffings quarterly and volunteers help.
Yes.
So at the bag stuffing, we're going to show people what actually happens.
Yeah, well, let me show you what goes in a purse.
Yep.
First of all, we start with the makeup bag, and then we put in various hygiene items that are needed. So like deodorant, soap, makeup, toothpaste, toothbrush. We always include a piece or two of jewelry, a journal, socks, and anything else that is donated that would be appropriate to put in the bag.
We also include a card, a special note directly from Courtney in each bag.
Yes, and it says that you can do it, that you are loved, and that we care. Because one of the things that we hear most about the women when they leave rehab, they don't really think anybody cares about them. So it's nice for them to not only leave making a good first impression, but feeling that they're loved and cared about. Some of the purses that we get in, just to take a look, this is a Vince Camuto. It's a nice bag, a Dooney and Burke. We've got a beautiful Brahmin. These are all just recently donated. These are items that can be bought in the boutique. And of course, for those of you with the Western flair, we have a lot of Montana West purses.
Patricia, I met you at the Carefree Cave Creek Chamber of Commerce, and
yes.
We had immediate connection.
Yes.
Certainly drawn to you in so many ways, and you've made such an impact on me, and I'm so happy for you and joyful of the impact that you've made on so many more lives in our community. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Last year, I published a book which includes Courtney's journal from her first time that she went to rehab. And that's how the book starts out, and it's about a young girl who was in love with a boy who overdosed, and how she wanted to get herself better and what she did in rehab to get herself sober for the first time. And for those of you who have had somebody struggling with addiction, you know it takes numerous times to get over it. And the second part of the book was the journal that I kept during her illness and before she passed away. And then the third part is the story of First Impressions, as I told it to you earlier. What I'm really excited about, and I've had great responses to the book, and it is available on Amazon, or you can buy it here at the boutique. I'm coming out with a second book, which is called Letters of Gratitude from Rehab. And I've received over 100 letters of gratitude, and I've included about 50 of them in the next book, which shows what getting a purse means to each of these individuals, and they writing their thank you and what a difference it made in their life, and how that they thought nobody had remembered them or that nobody cared. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing that with not only the public, but our girls in rehab as well.
Well, your story, Courtney's story, and what you're doing here is unforgettable. So
Thank you.
I can totally see how people would be so grateful for what you're doing.
Thank you. It's a labor of love, and Courtney and I, every day we get up and that's what we do. We think about everybody who's struggling with addiction, and together we're trying to take the stigma out of it. And just to let you know as well that I'm sober, and I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic, and I've been sober for 4.5 years. So not only am I spreading the message and doing the work, I've been in their shoes as well.
You're living what you're talking about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for coming today.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you for watching our video today. For more videos like these about the town of Cave Creek and Carefree in North Scottsdale, like and follow us on YouTube.